Dead fans, finally done it. I made the 100%er. Now what I did is I took my 99% accurate one and made it 100% accurate. And what this video is going to pertain to is little tips and little secrets that I have on finishing your top. Now I've made videos in the past on how to make the top, at least 2 or 3. But what we're going to do is we're going to go over little things that you need to know for making one of these for Halloween, or if you sell them or whatnot. That'll help you guys out and get a better finished result and product. So with that being said, here we go. All right, so what we're going to talk about first, we're going to talk about the wood handle. Now, to get this right and to make it less of a pain on you guys, this is what I do. Now, if you want this flat look, just rounded flat look, instead of having a Phillips head on top or a flat head on top, you know, and then have a bolt at the bottom, what I used to use is a carriage bolt. Now, a carriage bolt is flat on top, it's rounded like this, but at the same time, if you're going to use a carriage bolt, you're going to have to bolt it in with a nut at the bottom somewhere. Now, I used to use them. I don't use them anymore. They suck. They're a pain in the butt. You actually have to drill a bigger hole at the bottom to stick a nut through and try to screw it down and try to get it tight, which it sucks. So here's my little secret for that. Now what I get is an actual screw with a really wide top. Now this is almost about a 1/2 inch top. You can see that it is a Phillips head, or you can use a flat head on it, and it's about a 1/2 inch long. You can try to use a 3/4 inch long, but you do not want to have the point of it sticking through the bottom. So what I do is I drill my holes for my first top piece, and then go through my metal, and then just a little bit through the bottom piece down here, just so enough that this screw can grab it. And before I put that bolt in, I have a wood bit here. It's a 1/2 inch wide. So I'll have my general screw hole all the way through. That's just a little bit less wide than this screw right here. And then I'll go through the top and then bring it down just enough to where this is almost flush. That top will be almost flush. I do the same thing with the bottom. You do not want to drill a hole clear through the bottom. You want to leave the bottom alone on the outside, except for this. For the bottom piece, you want to make sure everything's lined up right, you know, top to bottom, and then you do the same thing. You drill just enough to where you take an extra one of these, you hack it off, you hack off the screw part, and you stick it in there. You can either glue it, or if you have a little bit of grip, you can screw it in there and then glue it in there. So the bottom ones are actually just fake. So you do not want your screw to be too long to push this out. So once you've actually got that put in, what I do is I go over the top with milliput. Now I've talked about milliput in the past. I really don't have to bring that up again. But you don't want to put too much milliput that where you have to sand a bunch down, because it gets everywhere. The dust and everything gets everywhere. But you want it nice and smooth. And then I just go over it with a nice silver metallic paint. Same with all of them. And this is the finished product that you get. It looks like it's natural, and it's way easier than trying to use a carriage bolt. So that's a secret of mine that I'm telling you guys right now. Usually these 1/2 inch ones or 3/4 inch work the best. 1 inch is way too long. I see a lot of people, they put bolts on the bottom, or they have a bolt through and they nut it at the bottom. That's not correct, because why would you want to grab something with a, you know, big sharp point on the end of it? I wouldn't. So this is screen accurate. I mean, I don't know the method that they used, but this is as close as you're possibly going to get, and saving you guys a lot of time and money. This screw, or this drill piece here, fits right into a cordless or a corded drill, and it cost me about $5. and it has saved me so much time. So that's with the top. That'll save you guys a lot of time. Now, with the top, I've seen a lot of people try to get the top lip right here, this lip, lined up with this line here for the plastic models. Now, some people, what they do is their top is not as wide, or they narrow it in to avoid this body line here. Now, the ones they use from the show are molded. You can tell they're molded because they're actually thinner. This body line's a lot thinner, so they didn't have to really lose much. And I've seen some where they kind of smudge in the top piece here, kind of angle it in a little bit, and I didn't want to do that. So if you're using a plastic body and you're doing the same method that I do with inserting, because if you are not doing the insert method and you're doing the free hanging or free floating cuff to where it's just on the outside, you can get away with shortening down your top on the width. You can get away with it, but you're still going to have gaps, and I don't like gaps. So what I did is I just trimmed this body line down. So right along this bar. And if you have a plastic body, use the Dremel. It's a lot easier. Don't go hog wild with an air compressor tool. It's a lot easier this way. Now, this is the top I had on my 99%er, and I did extend it out. And if you've used my methods of how to make the top, it's easy to figure out how I extended it out. That's just one little secret that I'm going to keep to myself, but it's easy to figure out. And if you're a builder, you know, that's something you should be able to figure out for yourselves. But really, this is an easy way to extend that top all the way down. Now, if you're going with an Evil Dead 2 or an Army of Darkness version, that top actually stops at that natural body line up here. You can look back on all the stills or the movie. It does stop up there. It doesn't come all the way down. There is about that much of a gap between this line and this top lip. But like I said, if you plan on doing a free floating cuff, you can shorten down the width of your top here. Actually, you'll be from here to about here. Or I've seen some people to where it's wide in the back and they narrow it in, which I think looks like complete garbage in my opinion. But those are just a few tips for you guys to help you guys build your own chainsaw for whatever cosplay, or if you're doing one for Halloween, or if you're starting to sell them. That's just a little tip to help you guys out, and I hope it did help you guys out. And like I said, the top's about a 1/2 inch wide, almost, and this one's about a 1/2 inch screw right here. And this cost me $5, and this top, the width on here is, let's see if I can get that on here. It's kind of light, and that's really light, but it's a 1/2 inch on the top. And if you look, this is just a little wider than that screw. But definitely don't use little screws for the width of the top. You want actually a pretty wide one. So that's an easy way to do the top, and an easy way to figure out how to get your top lip on your actual top, down to where it needs to be. If you guys have any questions about anything that's bugging you guys, I know a lot of people, their problem is building the tops, and you know, they're a pain in the butt. Plain and simple, they're a pain in the butt. But, oh, and another thing, I've noticed that some people have a sharper edge here, and that's fine. That is fine. You can see that mostly on season 3, that a lot of them have a sharper end here versus one that has just a little bit of a curve versus it being straight. So actually, if you do one or the other, both is okay. So just let you guys know that in case you do a flat one here, it's flat here and just perfectly angled. That is mostly season 3 look. But you know, if you do the more, just a little bit of a slight round here, which I like from, I don't know which chainsaw that was from. It was one from the auction, so I know it's from the show. But yeah, there's just a few tips for you guys. I hope it helped you guys out. You guys have a great day. Bye.